Was good, yeah. It's time to talk about Forerunner news, and as always, we'll be making it quick.
Our research begins.
So, here we go. Forerunner news. Why do I call it huge quality of life? The answer is very simple. It's only one thing, and that is background fights. In background fights, in comparison to what we have at the moment, where you go into background fights, are locked in, and you can't do anything besides maybe selling gear, swapping some gear characters around, and I don't know, upgrading people. You can now start a second type of battle, and the only limitation is you can't start the exact same battle. So you can't, for example, go into gear at 121 and start another 121 and then farm two 121s at the same time. But you can now, for example, what is really going to be helpful is start your gear rates, and then while that is going on in the background, you can go into Void Rift and play a couple Void Rift stages until it is finished, or finish up your gear rates, or even do GVG in the meantime while you're farming. It is going to be an absolutely magnificent quality of life, and it just makes everything twice as fast. So that's already the quality of life out of the way, which obviously now leaves us with another gift. And the form of this gift is, as soon as you clear the Volca story quest, you're going to be unlocking something called the Odyssey. And the Odyssey is another series of quests you complete, and through completing those quests you earn a new Dolores skin called the Golden Pharaoh, as well as other rewards like rare summoning crystals and stuff like that. So a new way to get a skin. We don't need to pay for it, we don't need to fuse it, we don't need to get shards for it. Everybody can get it just from their normal quest menu. Absolutely amazing, absolutely nice. And obviously now the question, how does it look? So right, so here you have it. There you have the skin, both from left side, right side, explaining the features. We could have already guessed earlier that it was a Dolores skin / we knew for quite a while, right? Because of those feet right here, where it kind of shows like the Dolores feet that we're so used to. And yeah, we have some nice feather accents, some whole Egyptian look, enough showing for the people that need to be shown something. It looks incredible. It goes incredibly well with that whole Egyptian aesthetic, like Venoma, Karmet, and now Dolores. Furthermore, the fact that we can get it for free is absolutely amazing. And obviously, if you're wondering where did I get this from, that is all the way back last year. They've already talked about it in a Moontune interview for the 2024 content with my bucket. So there you go. You can have a look at the skin. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Which leaves us with the very last question. Now that we're already back at my buckets interview, we have this whole section right here called 2024 new content, which shows obviously everything they're working on. And then we also write down here behind me, have the new heroes section, for example, like her. The question is, even though it has already been, but we are closing in on the 5th out of 12 months. Do you want me to again go over it? Try to analyze what we already got, what we're still missing, and maybe even to give off some predictions of what or when we can expect certain things to happen. Because honestly, I felt like they made it sound that Guild Wars 2 was supposed to be like a Q1 kind of thing for Watch of Realms, so I thought it would have been more like a by March or maybe by April, so this month. And yeah, that's because we really are kind of getting to the point where we're running a bit out of content, and people, we do get a lot of heroes, no doubt, like that never let up, but we are running out of places to use those heroes on effectively. Yes, we got Gear Dungeon, but the problem with Gear Dungeon is, at least with the way it looks for the moment, is that it's again mainly going to be mage shine content, where mages really shine. And even though it was spotted in the game files apparently that they have intentions to change the core mechanics, that hasn't been confirmed or seen yet. So if they can, and they do change the core mechanics, for example making magic damage useless, then you gotta rely on other types of damage. That would obviously be amazing, give us this different ways to clear and overall just make this piece of content more fun. But in general, we are really looking for the chapter 10, second guild boss, and then a game mode that they haven't really talked in this interview about, which is going to be something like the Praetor's boss fight. For all those that remember it or don't remember it, it was a fight where you had the chance to play the stage, and then while the stage went on, you were able to pick between 3 buffs, and then through that one kind of like roguelike, buff your teams, increase your score, put together new teams that work with the buffs that you could potentially get, play around with RNG, and overall just have fun. And also, like, I don't know, we really need something that can be played for a long time, something that you can invest a lot of time in, but that's always like changing. There's a lot of examples in the gacha space for game modes that are innovative, for game modes that are good. But one thing that always stuck with me, especially because it kind of fits the aesthetic, was Ark Knights. Ark Knights is also basically a gacha game where you do have where you also have tower defense as a part of the game. So it's kind of like Watch of Realms, but obviously not the same. And there they had a game mode in which you were pretty much playing your own roguelite adventure. It had different maps, so different styles. For example, one was like a rogue circus, the other one was like an underwater adventure. And at the end of the day, you were playing a lot and a lot of stages, but you had different paths. So you could skip different types of stages, unveil different stages by playing, for example, certain story dialogue that then unlocked another stage, or get buffs from certain places, and or combine certain items with certain buffs into an even stronger buff, unlock different endings, unlock different interactions between characters. But the main core mechanic was that you went in, had the chance to pick buffs, have items to boost those, and also work with your own characters, or with like your assortment of characters in different ways, because you didn't just go in and have every one of your characters to pick from, but you were kind of collecting your own collection through the fight. So in one rotation, you might end up with your sealers, but in the next one, you're not going to get your sealers, and then you got to work with what you have, which then also pretty much not forces you, but you kind of really then need to play around with the characters you have. And overall, there's so many ways they could make this great, but we really need a game mode where we have more fun. We need places where we can actually use our characters. So this has been it, and we see each other in the next one.